Have you ever felt so drained that even getting out of bed feels like lifting a mountain? Your body aches, your thoughts are heavy, and every day feels like you're wading through fog. Most people think that's just sadness, but it's not. Depression isn't in your head, it's in your body, your brain, your chemistry, and even your heartbeat. It's not a weakness, it's a condition that rewires how your entire system functions. Today, we'll explore what really happens inside you when depression takes hold, how it changes your body and mind, why it's happening to millions of Americans right now, and how healing begins when we finally understand what's going on beneath the surface. In the United States alone, over 21 million adults experienced a major depressive episode in 2021. That's roughly 1 in every 12 people. And those are just the reported cases. Many more walk around every day, hiding it behind a smile, or calling it burnout, stress, or just being tired. Depression has quietly become one of America's largest health challenges, not just emotionally, but physically. The CDC reports that almost 88% of people with depression struggle to function in their daily lives, at work, at home, and in relationships. It's not a mood you can shake off, it's a physiological storm that reshapes your body's balance and hijacks your brain's wiring. Now, let's see what happens inside your body. When depression sets in, your body goes into a kind of emergency mode, a constant low-grade stress alert that never fully shuts off. First, the stress hormone loop. Your brain begins to release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline more frequently. In a healthy person, these hormones rise temporarily during stress, then fall back down. But in depression, they stay elevated. That constant flood of cortisol affects almost every system. Your immune system weakens, making you more prone to infections and slower to heal. Your digestion slows down. That's why some people lose appetite, while others crave sugar and carbs for comfort. Your muscles stay tense, which is why depression often comes with unexplained pain in the neck, shoulders, and back. Your energy levels drop. You can sleep 10 hours and still wake up exhausted because your body's restorative cycles are disrupted. Second, the inflammation effect. Recent studies show that people with depression have higher levels of inflammation markers, the same kind linked with chronic diseases like diabetes or heart disease. Inflammation can actually feed back into the brain, intensifying fatigue, brain fog, and even hopelessness. It becomes a vicious cycle. Inflammation worsens mood, and low mood increases inflammation. Third, the heart-brain connection. Long-term depression has also been linked to cardiovascular problems. Constant stress tightens blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and increases risk of heart attack or stroke over time. Doctors have found that people with untreated depression are up to 40% more likely to develop heart disease. So when someone says it's just in your head, the truth is it's in your heart too. Now, we will see how depression disrupts your daily rhythms. One of the most overlooked aspects of depression is how it hijacks your biological clock, the system that regulates sleep, appetite, and energy. First, it affects sleep. Some can't sleep at all. The mind races at night with intrusive thoughts. Others sleep for 12 hours and still feel drained. That's because depression interferes with REM sleep, the deep stage where your brain restores itself. Without it, you wake up tired, groggy, and mentally foggy, even after a full night's rest. Second, appetite and weight. Depression confuses hunger signals. Some people lose all appetite. Meals feel tasteless, joyless. Others overeat, often craving high-carb comfort foods because the body is trying to boost serotonin, the chemical linked to mood regulation. That's why you might gain or lose weight rapidly during a depressive episode. Third, pain sensitivity. Then there's physical pain. Did you know nearly half of people with major depression experience chronic pain? That's because serotonin and norepinephrine, chemicals that regulate mood, also help control pain perception. When they're low, pain feels stronger. So those headaches, stomach aches, or muscle cramps you feel, they're not imaginary. They're the body's echo of emotional distress. Now, it's time to look into what happens in the mind. Inside the brain, depression rewires the circuitry that controls thought, emotion, and motivation. 1. The amygdala, the alarm bell. The amygdala, your brain's fear center, becomes overactive. This means even small problems can feel overwhelming or catastrophic. Your emotional responses intensify. Sadness feels deeper, guilt hits harder, and the world feels heavier. 2. The prefrontal cortex, the control room. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, focus, and emotional regulation, starts to shut down. That's why concentration becomes difficult and decision-making feels impossible. You might stare at your phone for 20 minutes just trying to decide what to eat. 3. The hippocampus, memory and motivation. Studies have shown that chronic depression can shrink the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. It's one reason long-term depression is linked with forgetfulness, slower recall, and even premature cognitive aging. 4. The thought spiral. Together, these changes create the thought trap, repetitive, negative thinking patterns that seem impossible to stop. You start believing things like, "I'm not good enough," or "nothing will ever change," even when it's not true. That's the voice of depression, persuasive, persistent, and false. Depression doesn't just flatten mood, it erases emotional contrast. You stop feeling joy, excitement, or even anger in the same way. It's like someone dimmed the lights on life itself. You might stop enjoying music you once loved. You pull away from friends because talking feels like work. And slowly, isolation feeds the illness. Your brain starts to believe that disconnection is safety when it's actually the opposite. Humans are social beings. Our brains literally heal faster through connection. So when depression convinces you to retreat, it's cutting off the very thing that helps recovery. Now, we will see the mind-body loop. The most dangerous part of depression is how the mind and body feed each other's pain. When you feel hopeless, your body releases more stress hormones. When your body feels weak and tired, your mind becomes more hopeless. This feedback loop deepens fatigue, sleep problems, and even immune weakness. It's why depression can last months, sometimes years, if untreated. But the opposite is also true. When you start healing either the mind or the body, the other begins to follow. Even small wins, a walk outside, talking to someone, journaling, getting sunlight, start to break the loop. Here's the truth: depression is treatable. Science now shows that the brain is incredibly plastic, meaning it can change, rewire, and rebuild connections throughout life. 1. Therapy and human connection. Therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or interpersonal therapy literally help retrain your thought patterns, weakening the neural pathways of self-criticism and building new ones of self-compassion. Even talking openly with friends or a therapist reduces stress hormone activity. Human connection releases oxytocin, nature's built-in antidote to isolation. 2. Medication and brain chemistry. For many, antidepressant medication helps restore balance to neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. It doesn't change who you are. It simply helps the brain regain the chemistry needed to function normally. 3. Lifestyle and small steps. Simple physical acts matter. Movement releases endorphins, easing tension and improving sleep. Sunlight boosts serotonin and vitamin D. Nutrition stabilizes blood sugar and supports brain function. Sleep hygiene restores the circadian rhythm depression disrupts. The key is tiny, consistent steps, not perfection. Depression thrives on stagnation. Movement, even minimal, weakens its hold. 4. Hope and neuroplasticity. Each small act, every walk, every journal entry, every honest conversation sends your brain a signal. Life is still happening. And with repetition, those new signals become stronger than the old ones. That's neuroplasticity, your built-in recovery system. If you're going through depression right now, this message is for you. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not weak. What you're feeling has real biological roots. Your fatigue, your lack of motivation, your pain, they're not your fault. They're symptoms of a mind and body doing their best to survive a chemical storm. And storms do pass. Thousands of people recover from depression every day through therapy, medication, support groups, mindfulness, and lifestyle shifts. Even your brain, right now, is capable of healing. It just needs care, patience, and connection. So if you've been waiting for a sign to reach out, this is it. Call someone, text someone, ask for help, because you deserve to feel better. Not someday, but starting now. Depression affects both your body and your mind, but it doesn't define who you are. The science is clear. Recovery is possible, the brain can rewire, and your body can heal. If you found value in this message, share it with someone who might be struggling in silence. You never know. Your share could be the lifeline someone needs. And remember, you are not alone. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but it starts the moment you reach out. Together, we can make mental health a conversation, not a secret.